The story begins at a temple where a frightened man enters with a child to offer prayers. The temple is ancient and eerie, looking as though no one has set foot in it for centuries. Despite no one being around, the sound of drumming can be heard. Suddenly, a colossal deity awakens, and the drumming sound is revealed to be nothing but the god's own heartbeat. This deity has awakened to unleash the torments of hell upon humanity. Next, we see a man named Guan searching for his daughter, Tangerine, inside an old mysterious cave. His daughter is screaming from the depths of the cave, and just then, the deity appears before Guan as a bright light blocking his path. Suddenly, Guan's eyes open, and he realizes he was dreaming. His daughter, Tangerine, was kidnapped 6 years ago and has never been found. Since then, he has resolved to find her at all costs. To find her, Guan has put everything on the line: his home, his career, and even left his wife. Sitting on a hill by the roadside, Guan spots a truck and suddenly starts pelting it with stones. With perfect aim, the stones shatter the truck's windshield, causing it to crash. Guan then goes down and attacks the driver, asking where his daughter is. The driver's companion hits Guan hard on the head, and he collapses, injured. The driver and his partner escape on foot. A short while later, when Guan regains consciousness, he opens the back of the truck and sees many children locked in cages. It becomes clear that Guan had somehow tracked down a child trafficking gang and had deliberately attacked their vehicle, hoping to find his daughter. He checks all the cages but fails to find Tangerine. Just then, the police arrive, and it appears as if Guan is the one trafficking the children. They arrest him on this charge. In the back of the police car, handcuffed, Guan falls asleep and dreams of his daughter again. This time, Tangerine is bound by black, swamp-like vines. Guan suddenly wakes up to see a police officer has taken Tangerine's photo from his pocket. Enraged, he beats up the officer, takes the photo back, and escapes. On the road, he sees another car. To save himself, Guan impulsively gets into the car. The driver is a woman named Ling, and she knows everything about Guan's life, including the full story of Tangerine's disappearance. She promises Guan that she will help him find Tangerine in every possible way. The story then flashes back to an ancient century, where a warrior named Kang is fleeing from some attackers, led by an old man. Just as Kang reaches the top of a cliff, he is surrounded. As they are about to capture Kang, his sister appears. To save him, she pushes him off the cliff, advising him to head west before she single-handedly fights them all. However, when Kang manages to climb back up the cliff, he sees that the old man and his followers have killed his sister. In a rage, Kang takes his spear and advances to kill the old man, but the old man warns him, "If you kill me, you will never escape from Lord Redmane." Despite this, Kang kills him. With the commotion over, Kang is exhausted from constantly fleeing his enemies. He makes a big decision: to go to the city and kill his greatest enemy, Lord Redmane. Just then, the old man's armor begins to move, seeking a new master. It suddenly emerges and attaches itself to Kang's body. This armor is sentient and has now chosen Kang to help it in its new mission. The armor completely molds to Kang's body, and an eye forms on his chest. Meanwhile, Ling takes Guan to a building where she works and shows him pictures of 5 little girls. She asks Guan to identify his daughter, but Guan can't, as 6 years have passed since the incident. Soon, Ling gets to the point. She can perform a DNA test to identify Guan's daughter, but in return, Guan must work for her company. They know that Guan possesses some kind of powers, the ability to stop or move things he throws with his mind. Now the company wants Guan to use his powers to assassinate a writer named Kang. Apparently, this writer live streams readings of his stories, and strangely, whenever his novel's character, Lord Redmane, gets hurt, some accident befalls Ling's boss, Limu. The company has tried every possible way to stop the writer, but nothing has worked. Guan doesn't believe this story at all, but he has no choice. He wants to save his daughter at any cost. The next day, Guan, with a fresh new look and a haircut, arrives in the small town where Kang lives. On his way, listening to Kang's audiobook, Guan realizes that the things and people appearing in his dreams are connected to Kang's stories. Guan follows Kang all day, looking for an opportunity to kill him, and finally ends up at the library. However, he fails to hide because there's no one else in the library besides him and Kang. Kang suddenly asks him why he's been following him all day. Defensively, Guan says, "Sir, I'm a huge fan of your novels." This makes Kang very happy, and he bombards Guan with questions. But before Guan can answer, Ling calls him and tells him to step aside to talk. Ling orders Guan to kill the writer immediately without talking to him, but Guan disobeys Ling and continues to follow Kang. The two start talking again when a car from Ling's company tries to run them both over. Guan escapes, but his diary, where he writes about his dreams, is left behind. As soon as Kang reads the diary, he suddenly gets an idea of how to continue his story. The story returns to the dream world. Kang is in a city where a festival is underway. At the festival site, there is a huge statue of Lord Redmane, where the deity is being worshipped. Kang is astonished by the large crowd. The statue then points towards a nearby village, and everyone picks up their weapons and rushes in that direction. His armor tells Kang that Lord Redmane has destroyed many such villages. This deity was inciting his worshippers to fight. The villagers try their best to defend themselves, but suddenly 3 dragons rain down molten lava from the sky. At the same time, soldiers shower them with flaming arrows, and the entire village is consumed by flames. The next morning, Lord Redmane's priests, dressed in red, come and intimidate the surviving villagers, taking over the village. The story then returns to the present. When Guan wakes up, he finds himself in a hotel room with Ling sitting in front of him. Ling asks him what his punishment should be for not completing his task. A short while later, Kang appears outside the hotel and returns Guan's diary, thanking him for the inspiration for his story. In the next scene, Guan takes Kang to a secluded place on the pretext of going for a walk, intending to kill him. During their conversation, Kang mentions that in his dream world, he met a little girl who was trying to save her brother, but he was already dead. This girl was none other than Guan's daughter, Tangerine. He comforted Tangerine, and then they buried her brother together. Tangerine also told them that the soldiers in red clothes had killed her brother, and that they would kill anyone who left their house after sunrise. The same tune that Tangerine played on her flute in the dream, Kang heard in the real world with Guan. However, the sound of this tune attracted a red soldier who started following them, as a curfew had been imposed after dark, and no one was allowed outside. Kang made a dummy of Tangerine to distract the soldier, so Tangerine could escape. When the soldier, mistaking the dummy for a girl, approached Kang, Kang struck his helmet. As the helmet cracked, Guan's face was revealed, now ready to kill Kang. But just as Guan was about to strike Kang, Tangerine reappeared, drawing Guan's attention. For some reason, he couldn't move this time. Taking advantage of this, Kang and Tangerine escaped. In the real world, Kang was writing all this when Guan came up behind him. Guan had seen the very same dreams in his own mind that Kang had just written in his novel. Guan picked up a stone and attacked Kang, knocking him unconscious and into a ditch. Humming the same tune that Kang had written in his novel, he approached to deliver the final blow. But then, in the middle of the road, he heard a child's voice humming the same tune. How could this child know this tune? Guan only ever sang it for his daughter. Guan tried to ask the child where he heard it, but the child got scared and ran away. Chasing him, Guan felt just like the red soldier chasing Tangerine and Kang in the novel. The boy managed to escape, but while chasing him, Guan accidentally stumbled into a small party. To his shock, at this party, Guan found Tangerine's kidnapper partying with some friends. A fight immediately broke out, and Guan used his powers to defeat them. He asked the kidnapper, "Tell me the truth, where is my daughter?" Terrified, the kidnapper confessed. It turns out that while kidnapping Tangerine, he had given her a slightly larger dose of a drug, which caused her death. Afterwards, the kidnapper put her in a sack and left her to rot on a hillside. Mad with rage and pain, Guan was about to strangle him to death, but Ling arrived just in time and knocked Guan unconscious, taking him away in her car. When Guan regained consciousness, he told Ling that the kidnapper said his daughter was dead. Limu, Ling's boss, was listening to the entire conversation and ordered Ling to tell Guan that his daughter was not dead and that the kidnapper was lying. But Ling was hesitant to tell such a huge lie to Guan, just for her own benefit. Guan then told Ling, "I will kill Kang. Don't you worry about that. I just want that kidnapper. I want to kill him with my own hands. Get him out of police custody for me." After this, we see that Ling's boss was very angry with her because he had told her to say the girl was alive, but Ling couldn't stoop that low. Meanwhile, in the fantasy world, Kang and Tangerine escaped the Red Soldier and arrived in the city, where they saw many people dying needlessly because of the war. They reached Tangerine's house, only to find out that her family had died some time ago because they had gone out during the curfew. As they were talking, some of Lord Redmane's followers burst in and tried to kill them. Kang jumped in front of Tangerine to save her life, an act his armor found quite unusual. "Wow, playing the hero, are you?" In the real world, Kang met Guan on a building rooftop, completely unaware that the man who had attacked him earlier was Guan himself. Guan realized that in his novel, Kang had cast him in the role of the Red Soldier. That's why the injury on the soldier's head was now on Guan's head, which he got while fighting the kidnapper. Guan took Kang's notebook and discovered that all the strange things he was seeing were written in Kang's book. And surprisingly, Tangerine was a living character in this novel. This made it crystal clear that Kang had unwittingly created a parallel universe with his novel, and whatever he wrote in it also happened to people in this world. Kang explained that in the final chapter, he and Tangerine were surrounded by many of Redmane's soldiers. Guan then suggested that they must win the fight, no matter what. The story returns to the fictional world, where Kang is about to fight Redmane's soldiers. Suddenly, Kang's armor left his body and transformed into a creature that could create any weapon at will. The armor creature tore through the crowd. Kang also jumped into the fight and soon realized that the armor moved according to his will because it contained his blood. He struck the armor on its chest and said, "I am your master, understand? You will follow my orders." Meanwhile, in the real world, Guan called Ling and told her that he was now going to save Kang. "But if you have the guts, I dare you to kill the boy." He did this because he wanted to save Tangerine in the novel. A little later, during their conversation, Kang told Guan that his father and Limu were once business partners, and then one day, Kang's father died suddenly in an accident. Ling was secretly listening to their conversation and realized that Limu had killed Kang's father and now wanted to kill Kang to hide the truth. Angrily, Ling called Limu and said, "Tell me the truth," but Limu hung up without a word. A short while later, as Ling was returning to her car, one of Limu's men tasered her and threw her into the back seat. Meanwhile, Guan and Kang went to the library, where Kang was about to write the final part of his novel, while Guan was fully prepared to protect Kang from any interruptions. In the fantasy world, Kang and Tangerine reached Redmane's palace, where they saw thousands of red soldiers standing like statues. Kang realized this was why Redmane's people imposed a curfew. After sunset, the red soldiers turned into statues. During this time, Limu's goons suddenly arrived at the library, and Guan used his powers to confront them. However, one of Limu's goons had the power to control electricity. He threw water on Guan, knocking him to the floor, and then gave him a powerful electric shock through the water. Unable to fight him directly, Guan hid. He saw his chance, put on rubber gloves, and then attacked him to avoid the electric shock. Then Guan faced another attacker who was incredibly strong, and Guan couldn't match his strength. Luckily for him, Ling had managed to escape and came to his aid. Together, they faced the attacker and killed him. In the fictional world, Kang and Tangerine finally reached Lord Redmane, who was a massive, four-armed creature. Here it is revealed that Kang is actually the son of Redmane's brother, whom Redmane had killed long ago. This story closely mirrored reality, as Limu had killed Kang's father, and they two were business partners like brothers. Learning this, Kang became enraged and challenged Redmane to a fight. Outside, Redmane showed Kang a tree where his father was buried. When the fight began, the armor once again took the form of a creature so they could face Redmane together. But even together, they couldn't even scratch Redmane. Just as Redmane was about to kill the injured Kang, Tangerine began to play that same tune on her flute, as her father had taught her to do whenever she was in trouble. But this only angered Redmane more, and he grabbed Tangerine and absorbed her into his stomach. In the real world, a third goon had entered the library and stabbed Kang, and no one noticed. Soon, Guan and Ling found him, killed this third attacker, and rushed Kang to the hospital. Looking at the story on Kang's laptop, Guan wondered how to finish the novel. Just then, Limu entered the room and revealed that his plan was to kill Kang and Guan together, so it would look like they killed each other. The plan was perfect, because the police would find Tangerine's name in Kang's novel, and it would be easy to fabricate a story that Guan suspected Kang of kidnapping his daughter and killed him in a fit of rage. Now, Limu wanted Kang's computer, but Guan refused to give it to him, because now he would finish the story. Over in the fictional world, just as Redmane was about to kill Kang, a red soldier suddenly appeared and attacked Redmane with a machine gun. It was Guan, who had come to save his daughter. The machine gun attack injured Redmane. Meanwhile, Kang figured out that there was a weapon hanging in the middle of Redmane's forehead, and seeing an opportunity, he started pulling at it, thinking it might be Redmane's weakness. The red soldier also helped him pull it, and as they pulled the weapon, they tore Redmane's entire body apart. The plan finally worked, and the giant creature was defeated. Upon his death, Tangerine was also freed from the prison of his stomach. Finally, father and daughter were reunited in that world. Meanwhile, in reality, Ling was reading how Guan had finished the novel. Just as Redmane died in the story, Limu also died. In the end, Guan heard the same tune again and rushed outside the hospital to look. He saw the same boy he had been chasing, but this time, there was a girl with him who was none other than his daughter, Tangerine. So the father and daughter are reunited, and Kang is saved.
If you want interesting movie recaps, like, share, and subscribe to follow us for more movie recaps.